Hey, Spuddies, Potato Whiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Rome. Particularly, we are playing Lord Julius Caesar, the Kaiser of Rome. And we are making great use of this 300 gold pillaging ability. Of course, it's being multiplied by the fact that we're playing in Marathon, and we have managed to conquer a sizable chunk of the galaxy. Did I say galaxy? I meant the world. I think in this episode, our main goal is to march on St. Petersburg. That's never gone wrong for anyone, right? Moscow then next. Continue across east of the continent, and I think we would also like to assemble an army to take on Brazil and head up to China. Number one enemy in the game right now is China. He is technologically an era ahead. I believe we are in the classical era. He's in the medieval era, so he's slightly ahead of us. We are a little bit behind him technologically, but we should be able to grind our way through, get enough population, get enough science, get enough everything to keep us going. Probably should have liberated Nalanda. We do have a little bit of science under construction, mostly repairing campuses and stuff. We have a little bit of stuff coming. We've quite a planned out empire, but I think that's our main objective, is to just maybe stop building infrastructure and build a little bit more military. We probably don't need to settle any more cities. Taking a look at the city of Evora, I also realized that I totally forgot to rename cities. So by typing city center Rome into the map search, I'll be able to tell that I have 26 city centers inside my city, which means I'm going to open up the handy dandy Patreon list and begin renaming these cities. Stephen Carpenter will take over Ravenna. Jack O'Brien will take over Ostia. Menkruch will take over Iridium. Mike Saint, Daniel Day, Adam C. Fultzer, Dave Olander, Chris, Michael Reynolds, Gordon Arbuthnot, Cole Brander, Test Questions, Kevin Clark, Mr. Parkour, Noor, Fristewald, Mayorn, Dick Splash, Ed Darren, Michael Reglane, Productivity, Nethian, Seajor6, Russell Young, Wesley Clausen, and finally we will name Rome after Ash Clark. If you want to get your name into the Patreon list of names, do check the description of the video to find the link to my Patreon and subscribe at the appropriate tier. I believe it is the tier 2. Moving swiftly back to our regularly scheduled programming, we need to take on the city of Nethian. So taking a look at the city, what it really needs is a builder. So I'm going to get the city to start construction of a builder, but I'll probably purchase a builder in this city and move Magnus to it. Now I had originally planned, I believe, to have Magnus do some stuff in this city, which is still ongoing, but I will wait for Nethian. I'm going to put a pin here. I'm going to say Magnus, and this is just to remind myself that this city wants a Magnus so that we can propel it forward. I also think Michael Reglane could use a Magnus too. There's a good amount of chopping that could happen in here, so I will set a Magnus in there. Productivity could maybe make that work. I really do just need a lot of builders down and around this section. Now, I do happen to have a Liang, and she is currently situated in the north somewhere. I don't remember where. Yes, she is in... Why is she in Test Questions? Well, let's take a look at the cities by production. And the city of Noor looks like it would be a good place to put her when we finish improving it, because it has really damn good productions up to 15. You've got 2 more chops. I actually think we could afford to buy a builder in here. I'll wait 2 turns though to buy them in Test Questions to save some things, because I don't think we have the +2 builder charges card yet. We're waiting for feudalism. Okay, that's fine. We're waiting for feudalism because feudalism has the card serfdom, which gives our newly trained builders 2 extra build actions. So I don't actually want to build builders until we reach this position. Noor has finished the construction of a granary. Now, looking at this city, we do have the commercial hub placed, we also have the encampment placed, and we do have the goal to do an awful lot of chopping in and around this city. If I were to buy tiles, I could get another 1 to 3 chops, plus a marsh chop if we really wanted. And why the hell wouldn't we want that? So we could go ahead and get started on some of these things. We could also produce military units to send off to the front line over here. We could also use gold to upgrade these guys to military units. We could chop out settlers, which I'm not entirely opposed to. I mean, this is a 1,230 production settler. I would have to plug in a card. I could get 100 production plus Magnus plus multiplication. We probably couldn't. We could probably chop out a settler here, I think. Yeah, we could probably chop out a settler, but is that city over here going to really do the justice that we need? I think the thing to do would be to chop out infrastructure that will support my army. And in the long term, we want to produce military. We want to buy our military over here in Daniel Day. So having an encampment in this city isn't that important, whereas getting an extra trade route could be really useful. And the reason we want to build our military over here is because they will spawn in adjacent to the Giant's Causeway, which means they get that +5 combat strength immediately, and then they can follow the road to the front line, which is the objective. We could hire a crossbowman from this one. We could hire a horseman from this one. Hire an archer. Is it a barbarian horseman or a regular horseman? A regular horseman I wouldn't mind, and I will hire it because that will give me era score for using the horse strategic resource, and it's a regular ass horseman, not a barbarian horseman, so it could potentially be useful. It did spawn next to the Spear of Fionn. I'm going to send it down to one of these lower cities, and I'm also going to promote some legions to make this work. So I think since we already have a relatively large military, we don't need to be producing units, so I think we can get away with producing infrastructure, and we have a really good gold income, so we don't necessarily need a commercial hub, but it is a great thing to pick up. The campuses are fantastic as well. That extra science really helps us get technologically ahead. I think gold is the engine of war, as is potentially the great general points. I really like the potential production that could come from this city, so I'm going to go for the encampment, and we'll start chopping in that direction. There's engineering. We now have access to the catapult. It might be good for us to buy a couple of catapults and send them to the front line. Now, I built a barracks in here, right? Yes, so in this city, I would much prefer to get a stable. So I will write that down. We would prefer a stable. That doesn't mean we can't buy a catapult from here. It's 1,400 gold. It'll take a while to get down here. Is the +5 combat strength worth not having the thing? I think if I was buying catapults, it would be to take on Brazil, which I'm not yet ready to do. So we're going to focus on St. Petersburg. Let's go ahead and declare a formal war on him. Now, he has a decent amount of grievances against us, but it's not the end of the world. It's 182 grievances is pretty okay. Our grievances are dripping down slowly over time against the other players. Something we need to be pretty diligent about is making sure we get kills on our vampire. That's important. Also, did we ever get our second vampire? No, we have not yet gotten our second vampire, but we could if we wanted to, so we do need to find a governor title. The closest governor title is going to be recorded history, so I will finish feudalism for the +2 build charges, and then I will move into recorded history to get that extra governor title. I'm also going to get a governor title when I finish the Warlord's Throne in Ash Clark, which is my capital. Also should totally place the bath. The bath, by the way, is a unique Rome building, aqueduct rather. It's a unique Roman aqueduct, and it gives you +2 housing and +1 amenity, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and place the bath, but not actually work on it. And the reason that we place it and then cancel it in the building queue is because by placing it, we actually lock in its price, and it will never get more expensive, because the more that a district, the more technology that you research, the more expensive your districts become to build. But if you place it down earlier, when the price increases, the districts that have already been placed don't experience a price increase. So hopefully that explains why we do that. Now, I need to pick my next technology, and I have a good few options here. I do think that apprenticeship would be a fantastic one for the +1 production from mines. I think I prefer to leapfrog to musketmen over going to man-at-arms. And this mainly has to do with upgrading my units. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go probably like construction towards military engineering. So I'll get construction for now, and the plan is to try to get military engineering pretty quickly and build an aqueduct, which we will probably build the aqueduct in my capital, so that'll take a little bit of time. It would be great if I could get a builder up from test questions with the Liang established to get that going. It's important to remember that I also am in a monumentality golden age, so buying builders is super cheap, and it's about to become super effective when I have feudalism. So a lot of things going really well for me here. I'll probably take out Strategos for the builder card. Stephen Carpenter has finished the commercial hub, getting us a decent amount of cash per turn. It would be prudent for me to place my encampment, but I have to buy a tile. I will buy the tile to place the encampment because, again, I'm locking in that really cheap price. I do think it's worth it for me to get a watermill because this building should pay itself off fairly quickly, mostly due to the fact that the extra growth and the extra production. It's like having a worker work a 3 food, 1 production tile in the city. That's without increasing the cost of working. So that is the value of a watermill. It's quite powerful. It'll also give me extra food from both the maize and the wheat on a short-term basis. So I do think the watermill here is an extremely good choice. Like the watermill itself is like working a 3 food, 1 production tile. With the fact that we have 3 potential farm resources in the city, it's like working a 6 food, 1 production tile, which by all accounts is a really damn good tile. We managed to repair the campus in Mayorn. We're going to repair the library as well. It's always good to repair infrastructure because this is infrastructure you've already technically paid for. And it's much cheaper to bring it back online than it is to build from scratch. Let's make sure that this archer dies. So we're going to storm in as close as we can get. And this archer should die. This vampire already has a +7 from units that have died near the vampire. So now that should be a +8. Plus we get some arrow score from killing a unit near Boudica. You're going to go to this iron mine to get ready to pillage it. And we will continue to storm forward with our units. looking to pillage anything and everything. 48 turns on that is not a big deal. So you have a promotion. I do like the idea of getting you a promotion. You're also farming experience right now. I think urban warfare is going to be great for fighting over things. We don't need Zweihander. I think Tortoise is honestly the quintessential amazing promotion that makes your legions basically untouchable. The combination of +1 movement speed, +10 defensive combat strength, and +7 offensive combat strength makes these into extremely effective units to the point where it almost feels like they need that just to be functional, and that infantry units without it feel weak. Focus majorly on pillaging to get resources. The return on investment from pillaging is extremely high. We're going to slam the city twice for experience, but we're not going to kill it just yet because we also want to farm this campus here. Killing districts and farming things for resources is incredibly effective, particularly if we could get the pillaging card in raid, and I might do that over conscription. In fact, I can have conscription in for now too. We probably can drop disciplined soon, but yeah, having raid is going to be super useful because it increases the amount of resources we get by 50%, which, like in the case of this mine, will be quite a bit of extra gold. Unfortunately, it doesn't boost how much you actually get from raiding clans, but that's fine. Let's pillage this mine here. That's 670 gold from a pillage. This mine right here is going to be pillaged as well for another 670 gold. St. Petersburg needs to be blasted. You're close to a level up. You wouldn't quite level. You're going to pillage for science. There's construction boosted. Do we want to go straight for military engineering? I think I'm going to take the time to pick up machinery. We'll pillage. What's in here? It looks like it's just going to be another campus. So yeah, next turn we'll pillage and kill the city, I think, and start moving my troops on, in particular to come around here to Beja and take that out. Nice. The city of Ed Darren has finished a monument. We're going to go immediately into a bath here to give the city the housing and growth and stuff that it will need to continue. Our main goal now is to get production into our cities. So the second we have feudalism, we're going to be focusing heavily on builders. Remember, one of the biggest mistakes that players make is that they don't make enough builders and settlers. It is the most critical mistake that players make, is not building a big enough empire or improving and chopping enough land. 340 faith, gathered from pillaging. Let's grab this final pillage on this science, which is like 6 turns of science we just pillaged. Who needs a level? Well, I'll focus on getting you up a level because then you should get your second promotion. There's 4 XP. And there's 13 experience, which is fantastic. We will be keeping this city. It's another capital occupied. You're moving forward. You're moving in. You guys shouldn't need much health, but I will move the Great General over to assist, take on the city of Beja. And we will move on towards Yaroslavl. When it comes to repairing St. Petersburg, I think the watermill and then the granary need to be repaired first. We should get a builder down and around here to start repairing the city, but that will happen over time and in due time. This guy's pretty close to a level. This guy's pretty far from a level, so I'd like the guy who's close to a level to capture the city because you get more experience from capturing cities. So he did manage to get a promotion, which will make him a 3 promoted. We will... Oh, I could liberate to Portugal. I don't think so. I think I will keep that myself. I didn't mean to finish a builder in Daniel Day, but I will accept that I have done so and start improving our production. I don't think I can afford to delay apprenticeship anymore if I want my empire to actually have production, so I think I need to start it now and just accept... Well, it's so much production. I mean, if I search mine in Rome, that's 25 production across my empire. That's so much yield. It's so much yield. And also, like, if I just search hill, Rome, it's like 100 potential production, depending on exactly what I build on these hills, right? So let's call it like 100 extra potential production on top of the already 100 potential production that's there. I think it's just completely necessary for me to go to apprenticeship. We already have the snowball. We already have the big army. The Legion, while awesome, is not necessary, I think, anymore. It's not a necessary part of my plans. We will go for the watermill in here. Again, I super think watermills are worth it. Some people disagree. Some people have mixed feelings about watermills. I'm a big watermill. I'm watermill pilled, okay? I believe in watermills. So, excellent. +2 era score. We also have feudalism. I'm going to drop discipline now, as much as that sucks. Instead, I would love to put in feudal contract, although I don't actually need to build anything. We're going to be plugging in serfdom. These are the important ones. You could maybe make an argument that conscription is less... Well, I guess technically conscription is less important than being able to clear the barb camps. So I will plug discipline in. Okay, let's go ahead and place the bath here in Jack O'Brien. We're going to go... So what have you got in terms of construction? You have very low food tiles, but that's fine. We're going to get to work on the granary. Nope, watermill. Watermill, then the granary. Get that little bit of production rolling. The growth is happening. Now, let's see if we can... I don't want to necessarily kill that guy yet, but I definitely want to hurt him. Let's go ahead and blop the city. Take on this encampment. The encampment is dealt with. Use the Great General to help our guys catch up. And then once they're caught up, we move the Great General to the front line. All right, let's go ahead and take Tortoise, making you basically immune to arrow fire. Well, close enough. A lot of mines to pillage in here, so we're probably going to pour waves of legions past the city and gently tap it as we pass through, but generally be moving through the city in order to pillage. Alrighty, I think we are pretty close to a pillage turn. So let's go ahead and raid this clan, 1,000 gold. We will raid this clan for 1,000 gold. We will raid this clan for 1,000 gold. We'll raid this clan for 1,000 gold. I might be able to get this one. So yeah, we just refilled our coffers by quite a bit of gold. I'm going to come into Ash Clark here. I'm going to buy the watermill to get the city just that little bit of food and production. It's going to help it out, just that smidge. I'm going to place a farm here to get a 3-1 tile. And then I'm going to turn this into a farm triangle to try to help Ash Clark go. I'm going to lock in the growth tiles because the biggest thing that I can tell about the city is that it's just growing slowly. It has so much growth potential and we need to meet that potential. So now that we have feudalism, our farms, if they're adjacent to 2 other farms, will get an extra +1 food, which means we can start placing farms that are actually +2 food, making these plains tiles extremely workable. Speaking of which, I can start converting my gold into builders in the city of test questions, which is amazing. And I should probably go around to all my cities and place all the baths that I intend to make. It does not need to be a good bath that I place. Just the fact that I place a bath in cities where it makes sense to, I think is a reasonable thing to do on the lowest value tile I can find. And the goal behind placing the baths is to lock in their price because they've already gone up to 164 production and I want to get them fairly cheap. And they're honestly just decent buildings for a Roman Empire. Let me see. So if I was going to chop out the Petra here in Dave Oleander, I could chop the spices. I could chop this jungle and this jungle, which is effectively 2 chops, which feels on point. So I'm probably going to move Magnus to here next to try and get that juicy, juicy Petra city. I'll move the vampire up 1 tile and then I will kill this archer, getting +1 combat strength on my vampire. I will pillage the camp and continue to push my troops forward. 680 gold pillaged, 680 gold pillaged, keep advancing. Oh, we're not actually in the medieval era yet, are we? No, we're still in the classical era. Okay, that's hilarious to me. Oops. Oops. We should probably get Pink Gala. And since we're trying to grow the capital, we should put them in Ash Clark and start to make use of this for lots of pops. Although, Kevin Clark would be better in the long term, but I think in the short term, but I think Ash Clark is where we're going to try to build up a nice big population. At least that is the plan. So interesting thing about the flanking rules, you can see here, we have a 40 combat strength horseman against this warrior. If I move this guy up, it's now a 42 strength combat horseman. So not only do we do more damage when we flank an enemy, we take less damage. So little optimizations like that can make a difference over the course of a game. I don't think each individual optimization has a large impact, but most competitive games, i.e. games where you're trying to win, victory is increased in probability by accumulating a series of small advantages. I'm going to buy 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles for the city of Nor that we can pillage and keep those builders rolling through. We do have a man-at-arms. It's a pikeman, rather. Well, we can take on a pikeman pretty easily, I feel. Now, this scout, unfortunately, cannot take on a pikeman. So I'm going to recruit a barbarian. Well, barbarian horseman won't do much. I'm going to send some units off this way to do the job. Also, another pillage of a barb camp here. Let's make a legion. You'll become a crossbowman soon. You can't be a pikeman yet. That's fine. Let's go ahead and place another farm in the capital. And we will force work this farm. Again, growth is everything right now. The more growth we have, the more pumps we have, the more tiles we can work. These tiles have a small bit of food on them, and that is exactly what we want to encourage. Harvest the stone for Noir, finishing the encampment. Let's use the overflow to grab the barracks. We are going for an infantry heavy game. Mayform has repaired. Let's go for builders now. Pillage another 1,000 gold. Excellent. Don't care if some of these are destroyed, honestly. We've kind of farmed enough gold and we have enough of them to continue farming to get us into an extremely, extremely dominant position. Anyway, okay, pillage here, keep advancing, capture the city with this guy so he levels up. He just about did not level. We'll keep the city. We'll grab our good friend Victor and assign him to Yaroslavl that we've just captured. And we will keep the flow of units. Oh, we found the Delicate Arch, how nice. And we'll keep the flow of units pumping towards the front line. I could in theory buy another great general and set up another, massive giga army, but I'm kind of enjoying how I'm doing things right now. One big old stompy army stomping around the world. My archer has leveled up to the point where they have 2 attacks per turn. So +1 additional attack per turn if the unit has not moved. Pretty nice. Although I don't think that works exactly how it says on the tin. You go there, I forgot to buy a builder last turn, so I'll get one now. We're going to chop here to overflow through the barracks into a bath. Pillage 700 gold, pillage another 700 gold. You step forward, you move to the north, you move slightly north, you move slightly east, you move slightly east. We don't need the battering rams, but it's good to bring them in case they become relevant. Tortoise now for the +5. So the promotion pathway that I like is Tortoise. Battle Cry into the +1 move. +4 Era Score for building the bath. Excellent. That will also boost military engineering, which will get us access to Niter, which will lead us to our glorious musketmen. So that's the direction we're going to be moving next. And then we can build an armory to boost gunpowder, which will get us musketmen. So you can kind of see how the build kind of comes together in a very nice way. The city of Dick Splash needs a builder, so we'll slowly work on one. Bath has been finished in Nor. We have 2 more chops in Nor. I think the thing to do would be go for the commercial hub, because we can do a lot with trade routes. So chop and chop. Then we'll go for that market. And now we need to think about which tiles we're going to improve. I mean, the citrus is amazing. And we're definitely just going to put mines on all the hills. I'll also buy this pasture tile to give this city good potential. Yeah, looking good. Everything else we don't need to improve. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tile improvements. We could, in theory, give it a couple of farms to allow the city to grow, but it's not necessary. We are going to grab Magnus, and we're going to reassign him to Dave Oleander. And in 5 turns, we should be able to potentially set up a chop here to go for the Petra. Won't be the world's most amazing chop, but it will be a chop. Pillage over here. Pillage over here. We got any more tiles we want to do? Yep, we definitely want to pillage this. Want to move you onto this right there. We could smash Moscow. We're not going to. I'd much rather smash your mom. Chinguetti will need a battering ram, so let's start moving a battering ram that direction. We've basically got Moscow under wrap. There are a couple of tiles over here we would love to pillage. So we'll move towards Chinguetti, sort of tentatively, prospectively, setting up a potential future move, but we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, little pillage right there for a ton of faith. We definitely want to move the vampire towards these hills to pillage them, and move you there as well. Battering ram is moving. I think we can just take Smolensk. It's not very well developed, which is kind of a downside, because that means it won't be able to hold loyalty very well. But the upside is it's not exerting very bad loyalty on us right now. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, swings and roundabouts. We've got some giga energy coming for you, baby. I'm getting attacked. We're gonna kill them all. I didn't mean to delete my legion. I meant to pillage. Hello, nurse. Right, taking that city out. Just about. We're gonna take it out next turn. What we need to do is have the Great General in range for the vampire to move. No, I need a 4 movement unit. Never mind. New plan. Slam Chinguetti for all it's worth. There is a mine here that we want to pillage. Do we want to kill Chinguetti? You know what? Actually, Chinguetti is a great way to get faith. International and domestic trade routes receive +1 faith for every follower in the city. However, who is Susan of Chinguetti? Right now it's Peter. Peter, if we killed them, it's probably not the worst thing ever. Smolensk has fallen. Let's move on Novgorod. I think that's our next move. Repair the holy site, build the granary. That's fine for Smolensk. This city has pretty poor loyalty, but we have 12 turns to deal with it, so we're not in a rush. We're not in a hurry. And tarry not nor scurry. Let's blast the city of Chinguetti once. We'll blast the city of Chinguetti twice. Basically rip down the walls. We'll be able to get those walls next turn. This guy has a heal. This guy also has a heal. So I'm not too worried about counterattacks. Excellent. Magnus is in position in this city. Let's grab, while we're here, put a pasture down for the city. Dave Oleander. It seems like a good tile to give it a little bit of growth. Pillage here for health. You promote for health. That +1 movement is amazing. You're holding this city for me. You're going to move up and slam Novgorod with this horseman and this rather unfortunate Aztec warrior. But if I can kill the city with the Aztec warrior next turn, he'll get quite a bit of experience and get a chance to sit there and heal up. It might be good to buy. We could research coursers after this. And if I research coursers, those are just, you know, relatively strong horsemen that could help keep the momentum up. So I think I'm going to start buying horsemen here on like 1 per turn for a few turns as follow-up units to come run down here and assist my units. The reason I'm going for horsemen is because they move relatively quickly along my roads. We do have recorded history, which gets us another governor title. Let's push towards monarchy. I feel like is our like militaristic government, but what we really want to get to is probably theocracy for that 15% discount on purchases with faith. So we're probably going to go monarchy into theocracy. This game, while Merchant Republic is amazing, we want theocracy because it has that plus the 15% discount on purchases with faith. And if we go into the government plaza and take the Grandmaster's Chapel, this gives us the ability to buy land units with faith. And since we are pillaging improvements in districts that give us faith, and this also gives us extra faith from pillaging improvements, this would allow us to generate a relatively large army through having an army. So basically, the Grandmaster's Chapel essentially turns your army into an economy, which an army is kind of an economy, in the sense that an army can generate resources for your empire by conquest. So that's something you should think about. Now, the city of Chris is going to place the bath here and also the harbor. But until then, well, I guess, I'm going to buy the granary just to give the city the ability to grow. It's going to grow slowly, but it really needs a builder. So I'm just going to give it a builder so that we can improve these tiles because I'm a nice guy like that. And then I'll work on the harbor. This will get the city up and running slightly faster. Need the salt online. These 2 pearls online would be handy. Maybe a farm triangle in here would be decent as well to give the city a little bit of growth. We'll work on it. We'll workshop it. We'll keep it going. Librarian, I'm going to upgrade Pingala with the connoisseur promotion to get extra culture. And this will net me quite a bit of extra culture in my capital. So we're now getting 6.5 from population instead of 1.5. Or whatever it was before. Yeah, I think it was 1.5. So slightly better culture. Let's buy another tile in the capital. And this will allow me to place another farm, which will give me another fantastic growth tile. So it's currently 16 turns until it grows. Boom. Bring that down to 13 turns. And that's just kind of the goal here, is to bring this city up to a really large population really, really quickly, because that'll allow it to scale across multiple dimensions. I'll be able to build a lot more districts. I'll have a lot more population. I'll be able to place those districts early, drop mine and drop a mine. And then I need one more mine in the city of Nor. And it's up to 25 production, which makes it an excellent Liang city. But I am kind of spending all my money on Liang stuff right now. Trying to have a look around to see which cities really need a builder. It's probably cities like Kevin Clark that have been like devastated by war, but need reconstruction. Chinguetti's walls have fallen, which is excellent. It's what we wanted. We got +1 era score from getting apprenticeships, so our production just skyrocketed quite a bit because we're getting +1 production to our mines. We can also start placing our industrial zones. It's not necessarily what we want to be doing. We also did get Divine Right, which does give us access to the preserve. And we did find Kumasi over here. Kumasi's a great city-state, gives us a little bit of culture. And in theory, we should be able to get suzerainty. Not like super easy, but relatively easily. Colbrandir is probably a city that I'm going to do some chopping in without Magnus. I know, gasp. Oh my god, the heresy. I think I'm also going to do chopping in test questions without Magnus. But the glut of builders should radiate outwards from this city. Another farm for the capital, propelling these farms even higher in their potential. How much time does deworking this save me? It doesn't save me enough time to dework the horses because we have so much surplus food right now. Far better would be to get better amenities in here. But I am going to continue to push food into the city with builders. It'll take a little bit of time for things to stabilize, but it'll happen. Horsemen can take a promotion. I really like depredation for pillaging. I do think that double envelopment is better, but I like going caparison so they can fight anti-cavalry units, depredation so they can pillage, pursuit so they can move, and I usually never get much further than that, because then by the time that happens, they've kind of run out of usefulness. Let's capture with the Legion. This way this guy can heal. I know that wasn't the original plan, but it is the plan now. I could use an extra governor title, but I kind of spent them frivolously, but that's fine. Frivolous spending is the name of the game. Let's move Victor to Novgorod. We will pillage here. We will pillage here. Let's take the city. Russia has been defeated, which will get me +5 era score. So I'm now very firmly in a golden age. We'll keep the city. That's going to give everyone basically 100 grievances against me again. But, it's only 100 grievances, so they're still draining away. We do have the capability to upgrade to man-at-arms, which is honestly not a bad upgrade, considering it's 330 gold to bring the unit up from a base combat strength of 40 to 45, but it is not necessary. Also, you can repair tiles with your legions, which is totally something I should have been doing with my legions, and I just forgot to. We're no longer at war with Chinguetti, but we could declare war. I think it might be better if we don't. I think allowing Chinguetti to live is fine. It's something I am okay with. Oh, we got Hannibal Barca. So he grants 1 promotion level to a military land unit, and he is just generally a great general. Let's go ahead and recruit him. I bought a galley purely to be able to just defend this builder from the potential bullshit on the coast. I'm trying to set up a farm triangle in here so the city can actually grow and do useful things. Okay, Magnus is established in Dave Oleander. We have the tiles that we need. Let's go ahead and chop one. That brings Petra down to 100 turns. We should be able to get another chop in here, and hopefully some tiles with a little bit of growth and production on them. Yeah, do lock in those nice tiles, I think. Growth is important here. Did I never get the granary? I'm going to buy the granary in here, and that might just get us like that little bit of growth, or it might decurve how bad the growth can be. All right, let's shoot this guy with our archer, and then we'll move in with the galley to get the kill. It is pillage turn, so 1,000 gold right there, 1,000 gold right there. I'm trying to remember where all of these things are. 1,000 gold right there. I think a couple of them I pillaged late because I'm bad at the game. Yep, even I, King Potato, the greatest player that ever YouTubed, can make mistakes. We will go ahead and chop here. That'll bring that down to 52 turns. Farm triangle in here. So like if I was continuing to work these pearls, right, let's say hypothetically 78 turns to grow, we work a single one of those farms, 26 turns to grow, we work another one of those farms, 16 turns to grow. It's way more viable. We're also going to take that tile. All right, the city of test questions is going to get expanded by all of our second ring tiles and by the third ring choppables. First things first is start chopping like a madman. Boom, trying to push the population up nice and high. Do you have a granary? You do not. So you're definitely going to want to get the bath, so I'll probably prioritize the bath so we can chop it out. And the reason we want to go for the bath first is because that's going to give you the housing that we need to continue to chop and grow. And having lots of housing means you can work lots of tiles, and now we're at a phase of the game where improved tiles are incredibly good. Ipso facto, these nuts. But I tell you what, after eliminating Russia and continuing the March of the Legions, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. And thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.